Peace, family. Welcome to Wellness Chat Wednesdays. And basically, it's going to be a Q&A. Peace, Q butter. Peace, peace, peace. All right, so we're doing a Q&A style today because, we put up a poll earlier. Hey, Auntie Maxine. We put up a poll earlier, and someone asked, how do we heal from past trauma so they don't affect the current and future relationships? So if there's more questions, feel free to, let us know. But for now, I'm just going to address that one. Yeah, if you have any questions, definitely. Oh, that's perfect. I just found out we can go straight to questions that people ask. So, boom. All right. So, again, if you have questions, feel free to put it in the chat. But for now, we're just going to go with the questions that were asked. And I know the person who asked this question is coming. So, let me see if I can just choose a different one. All right, I'll go with this one for now until the person. Oh, hey, here we go. We'll just go straight to it. All right, cool. So, we have a question about past traumas and how it affects future relationships. Why does sage stick to me? I'll answer that one first. Sage sticks to you because you need those vibes, Sage is antibacterial and it's anti-bad vibes. So sage sticks to you so that you can keep the bad vibes off of you, Q. But all right, so healing from past traumas. So it's all about what they call shadow work. Shadow work is really looking at I meant to say stink. Oh, why does sage stink to me? Well, maybe you're the bad vibe, Q. Nah, I'm playing. But healing from past traumas, it's a lot of it is what they call shadow work. And shadow work is looking into the dark areas and bringing them to light and working on them. It's uncomfortable because you have to look at yourself. You have to actually be okay with seeing the parts of you that other people can see and don't like. And, you got to realize that your shit stinks, So, healing from past traumas, it's an ongoing process. Even when you deal with one issue or one layer of an issue, there's always more. Until you can really until you can look back one day and say, wow, this is not a thing for me anymore. Hey. So we're talking about healing from past traumas so it doesn't affect future relationships. So one way that you can heal from past traumas is through journal work. Maybe you might have a journal prompt, or maybe you're just free writing about your experiences. But in any case, you're looking at specific events that have happened in your life. So let's say, a traumatic event for me was, my parents realizing your shit stinks and you're not untouchable. Yes, exactly. It's not just that your shit don't stink. I mean, that your shit stinks. That it's also, you are, you are penetrable. You can take on, showing love from Brooklyn, New York. Yes, we in Brooklyn too. But so journal work, that's going to be a really key thing. For me, one traumatic event that happened in my life was basically my father and my mother They split, and that's very common in Black families, right? But when they split, it was like all of a sudden my father didn't want to do nothing for me. So it's like, all right, I need clothes because I'm going through puberty. I'm reaching out, and everything is no, ask your mother. Hey, we're talking about healing from past traumas, so it doesn't affect future relationships, future and current. And so far we spoke about how, number one, it's an ongoing process, because even when we go through one layer, there's typically more for us to deal with. And, so it's an ongoing process. And so, I mentioned, hey, Janique, I mentioned that one great way to heal from past traumas is through journal work. And that it could be, you can have specific targeted journal prompts. I like to give people journal prompts. But it can also just be like you free writing about certain events that have happened. And I started to share, like, for me, a traumatic event was when my parents split, and when I would ask my father for things, the answer was typically like, no, go ask your mother. And so for me, that brought up abandonment. That brought up like I'm leaving you, and I'm no longer going to choose to be responsible for you, or to take care of you, or to show you, which to me as a 12-year-old equated to, I'm not going to be showing you love. Right. And so that one traumatic event, and probably, was ongoing throughout my teenage years. That traumatic event brought up a lot of other kinds of abandonment issues. And so that would show up in my male relation, the relationships I had with males. Right. So healing from that for me took really like looking at it and like admitting to myself, number one, I got abandonment issues. Like, that is not something that's typically easy for people to even accept. But it's something that I had to do. And then afterwards, after acknowledging it, because they say that's like the first step, acknowledgement, and awareness. After that, then, looking at how it showed up in my life, and then actually having a talk with my father, at the time that I realized I was like actually in this space, I was in college, and then after college, I moved back to New York. And so I got to have that conversation with my father and let him know, like, it's like, it felt like you ain't want to be my dad no more, just like really being vulnerable. But to even get to the point where you can actually pinpoint your feeling, like how you feel about a situation, that in itself is a process. Let me pause and look at the comments. Facts. One of different ways I channel negative energy besides boxing, exercise, traveling, walking around the city, and anything artistic. Jay-Z has to go through the same thing. Yeah. So you mentioned boxing is that like all of those things are moving the body. So emotions like in the word emotions, that's E and motions, right? So that's energy in motion. And so the emotion is trying to travel, and a lot of times it gets stuck in a certain area. I tend to work with what we call chakras. And so each chakra is related to a specific area of your life, right? So like relationships is all in the heart, how you relate to others and yourself, right? So like people might experience chest pains or even like heart problems or lung problems, because the lungs, are right outside of the heart. So, so like whatever energy is stuck, it'll get stuck in that specific area. So Ambitious 179, absolutely. Like moving the body, exercising, especially something like boxing where you fighting, you getting that aggression out, that's excellent. I mean, yes, it's violent, but it's channeled in a set of rules, within a ring. So that's actually excellent. Traveling probably gets your mind off of things, and or gives you time and space to think about things. And walking around the city, Yeah, I could see that because the city, you might find that really beautiful. And so taking in beauty will make you feel better too. So yeah, great things, Ambitious 179. How do you know if you've resolved an issue in a chakra? So one way you'll know is if you don't feel what you felt before when that thing comes up, right? So like now when I think about my relationship with my father, it's like, of course it's completely different now because we spoke and we worked on it, but like you're not having that same reaction to something that you had before, the way that you used to express your emotions before about it. Let me see. Let me think of another example. Okay, so like a throat chakra issue, right? Maybe it's like not speaking up, not communicating how you really feel about something, or not, like if you feel like you're like there's an injustice and you're just like not saying anything. That indicates that you might have a throat chakra issue. And then you would be different. You would have resolved it if you notice that you start to do that thing. Does that make sense? Okay, because I know it's going to take a while for the response to come back. So I'm going to move on. And if not, then I'll go back to it. So healing from past traumas so it doesn't affect your future relationships. Before you get in any relationship, you want to, okay, she said yes, cool. You want to like really understand what your needs are, right? And so if there's something that you're still not completely healed about, then you can avoid those certain things in a relationship. So for example, let's see. Let's say like a trauma is from a past relationship is, give me a trauma, y'all. Give me a trauma from a past relationship. Cheating, right? So let's say cheating has been something that, has been happening in your past relationships, and, you're kind of hypersensitive about that, and like always looking for, you're always looking for like ways to know if somebody's cheating on you, like signs and signals and things like that, right? If you know that that's an issue for you, for whatever reason, you got them trust issues, you can have that conversation with the person that you're dating. Like, look, I've been hurt a few times, and, I know that like you're a completely different person. I'm aware of this, but I know that I know me, and I know I have that thing where I kind of feel like, it might happen to me again. So here's what I need from you. What do you think about maybe like not going in the other room when someone calls you, because I could feel like I'm gonna like you have something to hide in the conversation with that person, or I could feel a little insecure if you have your phone locked and you absolutely won't let me have the password or something like that. I mean it's kind of weird to say something like this to somebody like on the first date, but this person might see that this insecurity that you have and like respect it because you're owning up to it, because you understand yourself, and you care about them and want something to work enough that you're gonna put all your deep vulnerable secrets out on the table, so that they can understand you and accept you for who you are. So I'm not saying go out there and be like, look, I got trust issues, so you need to tell me your password right now because you know what I mean? It's not a conversation like that at all. It's like, this is my insecurity and I really care about you and I really want things to work. And so what do you think about meeting me halfway with this? Like, it's all about the way that you communicate things and let them know that you're being vulnerable and open, and you would hope that they would care about you enough to meet you halfway. And if they don't want to, that's their prerogative. You That's your stuff that you still got to go deal with. And oh hell no, she'll get dubbed for that. Yeah. Wait, she'll get dubbed for what? She'll get dubbed if she says, yo, I have these trust issues and here's where I would like for you to meet me, and if what do you think about that? If she gave you that approach, now that I can respect. See, yes, exactly. Wonderful. All right, so this if there's more questions, bring them on in. And for now, I'm just going to keep talking about how to heal from past traumas so it won't affect future relationships. Hey, major expression. I don't know if I messaged you or not. I think I just messaged you in my head. But I really want that thing that I wore around my waist. I can't remember what you called it. I don't even know if you had a real name for it yet. But hit me up because I want that from you. Anyways, and peace, Nisha. Peace, y'all. Thanks for joining. He said, yes, the first approach will get her dubbed. Exactly, because nobody wants someone to come up to them. Okay, let me fill y'all in who just joined in real quick. So we're talking about how to heal from past trauma so it won't affect future relationships, right? And so I just gave the example that, I talked about a few things, but just now I talked about how, if you know that you're still working on something. Hey, Herba Bush House. Yes, I had to leave class to come here. Because I'm trying to stay on target with my Wednesdays. But so we're talking about healing from past traumas, so it doesn't affect future relationships. And just now I gave the example that if you're still healed, of course the ideal situation is that you actually heal your stuff before you get into a relationship, right? But let's say you meet someone that you really are feeling, and you're not completely healed about something. If you know and you have that awareness about yourself, and you come to the table with hey, I'm still dealing with this, and this is where I'm at, and it would be really helpful if you can meet me halfway with this, right? And so I gave the example of someone who had experience with cheating in the past. And they're really insecure about it, and they still want to date you, and but they come and say, I have trust issues. It would be really helpful to me if, when someone calls you, you don't go in the other room to take the phone call, or it would be really helpful to me if if you have a passcode on your phone, that you don't keep the password for me. I'm not saying I'm going to go all up through your phone, but I'm just saying it would be helpful if you offered me the passcode, because that would help me feel like XYZ. And I know I was saying that I know it's a little weird to have a conversation with someone, especially if you're just getting to know them, but that person might respect you because, number one, you're self-aware and you know where your shortcomings are. And you're putting it on the table and being vulnerable with them, and they might really be like, dang, she or he really is trying to is really feeling me, even though they have this stuff that they're still working through, and they're aware of that, and they're still actively working on it. But this is something that's going to make them feel comfortable. And so whatever it is for you, whatever issues that you might still have when it comes to relationships, especially dealing with something that you've been through before, if you're still healing through it, it doesn't mean that you can't get into a relationship. You just have to be really self-aware and know what works for you and what your needs are. So, yeah, just wanted to put that out there as well. But if y'all have more questions, keep asking. And in the meantime, I'll still keep talking about how to heal from past traumas. Oh, and so Ambitious 179 said, yes, the first approach will get her dubbed, because the first approach was, I don't be putting your phone on lock and I can't see it and da-da-da-da. Don't be walking out, coming at them with that energy is not going to help. But coming from a self-aware, vulnerable space, it will definitely get you some points. Yes, know your triggers. Absolutely. And that's where that self-awareness comes in. You should know what things hurt you in the past. And instead of stuffing them down, you should be actively looking at it and actively thinking about what is going to support you. Always think, like, not as a, like using it to empower you. Okay, these are my triggers. I'm not healed from this yet. I'm still working on it. I'm still journaling about it. I'm still doing my shadow work. I'm still, figuring out how I'm gonna get through this. But I don't want to end up like throwing up on people. I don't want to end up like hurting them or getting on their nerves and triggering them because I'm not all together. So this is what I need. It would be really helpful if you can meet me halfway with this. That goes a long way. But then, that person has every right to say, nah, and then you just got to move on. But if that person is really trying to make something work with you, they're going to learn how to meet you halfway. Allow yourself to cry it out because it's okay to let the tears flow. Oh, yes. I know a lot of people think that, tears are, a sign of weakness. Tears are water, and water is cleansing. We are all of the elements. I just threw my pen. We are all of the elements. And so if we're not allowing the water to flow, again, like what I said earlier, and emotions are energy in motion. And so when you're not letting those emotions flow, they're going to get stagnant. They're going to get stuck in a particular area of your body, which is, chakras. The chakras are related to different areas of your life. So if you're not crying about something, a lot of the emotions are stored in the sacral chakra. So like women, peace from the soul. So women, I guess, and men, anybody, like if you're not in touch with your emotions, if you're not allowing those emotions to be expressed, and you're not allowing yourself to cry, to cleanse, to move that energy out, then heck yeah, you'll definitely have blockages in your area, different areas. Tears is therapy, so when it comes out, I feel much better. It's a release. Of course, if something is like let's say like a burp, right? If you have a burp like waiting to come out, like don't you feel so much better when you let that burp out? I know it's such a weird example, but that's what came up. You let that burp out, you're like, yes. Nope, that's good, crybabies. No. But yeah, so definitely crying is cleansing, it's healing, it's water. And just like how you use water to bathe the outside, like you use the water to bathe your skin, you use water to brush your teeth. Yes, you have to use water, not have to, but a lot of times you're going to be using water to let out those emotions that hurt. How do you suggest healing from relationships when the other person isn't there mentally, spiritually, etc.? Healing from relationships, so as if the relationship has ended. If the relationship ended, that person ain't got nothing to do with you no more. But if the relationship is ongoing, like how I mentioned with my father, it could have went a different way. I realized what the traumatic issue was with my father. I spoke to him about it. Peace, Lauren, from the West Coast, or on the West Coast because you're from New York. But anyways, so yeah, like I mentioned, like with my father, understanding like, okay, I'm feeling abandonment because my dad left and he was not trying to be supportive to me in any kind of way afterwards. So, and then having a conversation with him, it could have went anyway. If he wasn't there mentally or spiritually or emotionally to actually move forward in the relationship with me, I would have just had to deal with that, and say, damn, at least I tried. I expressed myself. And then I would have had more healing work to do. But that's life. Like sometimes people will be on board or on the same page as you, and sometimes they won't. So, but if you're asking about suggestions in healing in a relationship with someone where they're not they're not there mentally or spiritually, then that's another situation. Because if you're in a relationship with someone who is not, if they're not trying to meet you with, like, to support your needs, you either work really, really hard to get there faster, or you find someone who is there to support you. It can be really difficult to try to, when you're butting heads with someone, like, look, this is where I'm at. Like, I'm trying, for me, in my relationship now, like, my moods be all over the place sometimes when I'm feeling stressed about, working with children, and stressed about, trying to manage. I manage like 5 businesses, so it's like it can get stressful. And so for me, I have to work really hard to, like, maintain my emotional balance and not be, like, all over the place, right? So I'm drinking teas. All right, there's a few herbs that are really great adaptogens that help to balance out the emotions. I am, making sure that I get up early and, like, take care of my, like, spiritual work. Like, I'm making sure I meditate and doing energy healing and cleaning up after working with clients, because a lot of times working with clients and their energy, it could kind of seep onto me. So there's, like, a lot of different things that I have to do to try to maintain. And then even still, I might still be a little snappy or whatever, especially around my cycle. So, yeah. But if I was choosing not to be there mentally and spiritually, if I was choosing not to actively try to work on myself, then it could be a different situation. It could be like, lots of this. And then I'm with the Scorpio, so. But anyways, yeah. So, Janique, I don't know if I answered your question to your what you were really getting at, but feel free to ask any follow-up questions. I believe hugging or holding yourself and expressing love to yourself is so magical. Yes, it is. If they don't see your value, then you have to be okay with walking away. Absolutely. Yes, so let's talk about that self-love tool that she just mentioned. Hugging or holding yourself and expressing love to yourself is magical. Can I tell you, it's so magical that, like, when you are giving more love to yourself, that just automatically has people want to give you more love. It's like what you do for yourself definitely will expand out to others, like, for, like, 100%. Like, I remember this was like 7 years ago. I was in a relationship, and I used to test it out. I used to be like, let's see, like, I would kiss my arm and just tell myself I love myself and all of that. And I would notice that the partner I was with would be, like, extra loving that week, so yeah. If they don't see your value, then you have to be okay with walking away. Yeah. And that's about loving yourself for real. Like, loving yourself is not just not a phrase. It's an action. Love is a verb, period. But, really seeing, like, okay, I know that this is what I need, this is what I'm worth, and I'm not getting it. You can try to explain. You could try to help them see. And at the end of the day, if your value is if you're being taken advantage of, and you're not shown the level of care and respect that you know that you need, then yeah, you have to be okay with walking away. Ginger tea is amazing. Yeah, ginger is great. I personally love, like, other adaptogens like ginseng, ashwagandha, rhodiola. Like, those have been, like, my best friend. I enjoy rocking and hugging myself, and it's so soothing. Yes. Any other questions? If not, then I'm going to go back to that. Oh, wait. I see a question. Hold up. What are your thoughts on crystals? Oh, I love crystals. I really do. So right now, my favorite thing to have is organites. Organites are supposedly supposed to support with like, you know, radiation and stuff like that. But like, so I have two, well, now I have more, but I have two organite pyramids that I would work with the most. And like sometimes I would just put one to my heart and one to, you know, my sacral chakra, and just like, you know, just like really feel it. Like it's really beautiful. I love I do love crystals. I work with crystals with some of my clients too. And like, you know, there's different colored crystals that are associated with the chakras too. So sometimes I might do sessions with that and like just have the crystals on those. Crystal grids are amazing. I've manifested some things with crystal grids as well. My last apartment, actually. So those are cool. Yeah. I, too, use my rose quartz and speak gratitude affirmations. Yeah, rose quartz is great for self-love. Great for self-love. Any other questions? I want to go back to this because I think it's so important. Yeah, so definitely, you know, journaling helps. Just write, even like in any moment when I'm going through something, when I'm realizing like, all right, I'm feeling off right now. I need to figure out what to do. What do I use my hair? Okay, I'll show you the products. It's sister named Ben. Her products are called Bennu Vegan, BENNU, Bennu Vegan. She's in Brooklyn. And she ships too, I believe. So if you're not in Brooklyn, you can get them too. And other than that, coconut oil. But, dang, what was I saying? Journaling. So you can write about like whatever just happened and then ask yourself, how do you feel and why? You know, like, okay, I feel so upset because this person, I feel like they just violated me. Like, I don't understand why they would do that. Like, who do they think they are? Do they not know who I am? Whatever your ego is, you know, saying, like, just write it all out. And let your ego have the voice, because that's important. Every part of us needs to voice its voice. Like, every part of you needs to express yourself. Hey, Candace. Every single part of you needs to express itself. So if you are, if you're feeling some kind of way, write about it. Write about how you're feeling, why you might be feeling, why you think you might be feeling it, you know, all aspects of it. And just let that voice be heard. And once it gets heard, a lot of times it will just leave. Sometimes it just needs to be voiced, because every part of us is here to offer information. They say there's some spiritual reasons for car accidents too, girl. Google that. Google the spiritual significance of XYZ and see what comes up. Yes, speak the unspoken words and put it on paper. Great idea. Yeah, everything that comes up in you is here to give you some information, whether it's true, like factual, or not. Just let it be heard in a safe space, because if you let it be heard to the person that you mad at, they might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that has nothing to do with anything. And it's just how you feel. And you're not wrong for feeling how you feel, you know? But just write it. Write it. It's safe in your book. You know? And get, you know, do that. Y'all, anything else? Oh, for real. Yes, look into that. They, like, everything that happens, there's a you can Google the spiritual significance for XYZ and you'll see something. See if anything resonates. If not, whatever. But, you know, a lot of times when things happen recurring too, it's definitely trying to tell us something. Let me get some questions. Oh my gosh, this is the longest that so many people have been in my life. So I'm feeling really, really happy, and it's making me feel like this topic is important. So, you know, keep asking questions. But in the meantime, I'm gonna find more things. I'm gonna find more things to talk about regarding healing from past traumas. So we talked about being aware of your traumas and writing about it. We talked about talking to the person that you're interested in getting into a relationship with. So that letting them know that this is your issue, and asking them if they're open to meeting you halfway, not demanding it, but just saying like, yo, this is my insecurity, being very vulnerable and respectful and honest, and see where that leads you, if that's a new relationship, or if it's the old relationship. If it's the old relationship, you would really hope that the person that you've been with for a while is open to supporting you. Like, you would hope that they're here for your growth, right? And if not, you wanna think about that, because if they're not here for your growth, then what are they here for? Yeah, we're not even gonna go there. But yeah. So, any other questions? Come on, y'all. This is like the most people that's been in here, like, consistently for like mad long. It's been like 30 minutes or something. There gotta be some questions. Okay. In the meantime, how to heal from past traumas so it won't affect future relationships. So there's also, there's a really, really dope thing you can do, especially around the full moon. And the full moon is actually now, tonight, tomorrow. This is all the full moon energy. One great thing you can do is write a letter. So, there's a relationship in my life with a family member that I know it's not going to change. And it's okay. Like, I spent a lot of time hoping and that things would change, and it's just not. And that's okay. But what I had to do the last full moon was write a letter commanding how things are going to be. No, it's not going to be the ideal way that I would like for it to be, but this is what it's going to be. And if for any reason it's not going to be that, you don't get to be in my life. And I wrote that letter and I burned it. And of course, the relationship is not the way that I wanted it to be from before I wrote this letter, like I knew. But there's a level of respect that I wrote about that is present now. And for that, I'm grateful. That you can't force someone to be. And I think, Janique, that's also answering your question about that person not being there mentally. And Janique, you might even know who I'm talking about, because I've known you since 6th grade. But yeah, like, this is a relationship that I just had to know was not gonna be the ideal way, but this is how it's not gonna be what the hell it's been, because I'm not taking that shit. So I spoke with one of my friends for the first time in 8 years. He told me he was glad to have the discussion we had because he contemplated suicide. Mental health can't be stressed enough. Yo, wow. I'm really glad that you had the courage and the just like the courage, the awareness, the vulnerability to actually speak to this person. And wow, like, that's beautiful. Stress can get the best of us, especially the not most perceived strong ones, or the most perceived strong ones. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Janique, you're laughing because, yes, I got a question. Let's see. Woo! Narcissism. Wait, hold on. Let me see what Janique said. I feel like people think mental health is for crazy people, but it's for everyone. Yeah, we all got a mind, so we all need mental health. Duh. We all got a body. We all need our physical health to be checked and worked on. We all have a mind. We all need our mental health checked and supported. it's common sense, but common sense ain't so common. All right. How do you detach from a narcissist, romantic and non-romantic? Well, detachment has everything to do with you. That's first, right? Because you can be in a relationship, let's say a non-romantic relationship. You can be in a relationship with someone and not be attached to anything that they do. Like, just know that, okay, this person has this problem, and I understand that this is how they are. And so when they speak to me, I'm not going to react to them because I have this expectation that this is how they are. I am not attached to how they act. Period. And then a romantic relationship. If you in a relationship with a narcissist and you're not able to see, that's the thing. And see, if narcissists would have accountability, like self-accountability, that would be different. But if they're not even, one common trait of a narcissist is that they're not even able to see that they're doing something wrong. So if they can't see that they're doing something wrong, then you try to tell them your point of view about how you need to be treated and loved, and they're just not going to get it. So you might need to leave that one alone. But if they are trying and they're actively trying to remove the narcissism, because that's going to be a process. If somebody's been there that way their whole life, and then they just, they got in a relationship with you and you're like putting it in their face, and they're like, first of all, that hurts, but okay. And all right, fine, I'm going to try to change because I want to be a better person. Then you got to actually be patient. But that detachment is key. Like, knowing that, okay, this person has a problem. Just like a child with special just like a child with special needs. I'm only laughing because I'm like, that's like you saying that this narcissist has special needs, but they do. And we all have our own special needs, right? Some people really need attention. Some people really need, you to sit down and guide them through things. So with the narcissist, it's like, all right, bruh, you're doing that thing again that makes me feel like you don't care about my feelings, and I don't like it. Putting it to them in a way that they can actually understand will be helpful. If it's like very accusatory, like, yo, you always did it, anytime you come with that energy, is already automatically gonna be like a shutdown, for a person who is gonna be defensive. But if you're like saying like, I'm feeling that way again when I feel like you don't respect my feelings, or you don't care about my feelings. Putting it that way, especially if they actually care about you, is way different. It's like way different, because you're talking about your feelings. Like, I am feeling this way. I am feeling like my feelings are not respected or taken seriously, because of that thing. So I hope that helps. Wow, this live is good. I need to put on my diffuser. Oh yeah, I'm so glad you think this live is good. I know how to get rid of them directly and indirectly. Basically, you have to be an asshole to them and be an antagonist. I can be 50 Cent disrespectful with the narcissist and they'll get turned off. Okay, first of all, oh my God. Yeah, if you're going to be an antagonist, then you guys are just both raising your blood pressure. I don't like my blood pressure to be raised. I don't like to argue. Ugh, it just takes too much energy. I could be using that energy for something else. Like, it drains me when I have to engage in an argument. It's like, really, I got to do this right now. All right, I mean, if we must, okay, fine, okay. Like, that's my energy when I enter an argument. And then I get turned up because then I feel like my buttons are pushed, and I'm an Aries. So if you push my buttons, I'm just not going to like it. But yeah, I have an immediate relative who's a narcissist. I had to either love her from a distance or totally leave her alone. Yeah, and loving her from a distance, that's that detachment. But you said how to detach. So putting yourself in a mind state of, this is the characteristics of this person. If you need to write it down, like, I write down everything. So if you need to write down, like, okay, like, I know that Johnny does this kind of thing. Like, Johnny is Johnny's characteristics are this, and I can expect that if we get into, or if Johnny's feeling triggered in any moment, that Johnny's gonna act like this. So if you are aware of this, right, and you are engaging in a conversation with Johnny, like, it would be silly, or not silly, but it would be a waste of energy to continue to react in the way that you have with Johnny when you just know that Johnny is gonna do this kind of thing, because that's how Johnny is. Like, it's not cool. But again, if Johnny's actively working on Johnny's self, and you can point it out, and it's a timing too when you point it out, because when Johnny's like up in the flare, it might just be like time for you to be like, okay, and save that conversation for when Johnny's more calm. I've learned to do that too, because it don't make no sense to like engage when someone's like high energy. And even with myself, when I see myself in high energy, I'm like, Botanica, go sit down. Just go sit down, because you just is not gonna work. Just go sit down. All right. And sometimes, because I still got a little bit of petty in me, I'm like, I still got something else to say, but I'm not gonna say it, because it's not gonna go anywhere right now, because I see how I am right now. So you know what? I got something else to say, but I'm not gonna say it. But at least like I'm doing less harm with that. Saying that I got something to say and not saying it is more helpful than actually saying it. So I'm still a work in progress too. Leave her alone. Oh, the you talking about his distant relative? Yeah. I mean, it's up to people. You can't tell people what to do. If people want to keep someone in their life because everybody views relationships differently, I'm really good for just cutting people off, or not even like, it don't have to be like I'm not talking to you no more. It's just, my life is really busy, and I don't got time to call people like that, or text people like that, or text people back like that. So those who make the cut, even my own dear family that I love so much, if you got that energy that's not supporting me, I'm just not gonna really be talking to you that much, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. Not arguing at all. Just do the exact opposite of what the person wants me to do. Oh my gosh. Doing the exact opposite of what the person wants me to do. I won't let that narcissist manipulate me. They feed off that. They feel weak, inferior when I do otherwise. Yeah, but the thing is, it's not about trying to make them feel weak or inferior. Just knowing that they have a problem and just not engaging is different than, oh, you want me to do this? I'm going to do the opposite. Like, that's also energy. I don't got energy to waste on people right now. Like, my energy is going towards making sure I'm good, making sure, the people that I'm responsible for is good, and that's it. Place her in a category, needs love, and walks away. When you feel you in a better headspace, send them a hello. Yeah. Girl, I throw the whole person away. Yes, Janique, I know you do. But I feel like that's not a thing. Throwing the whole person away? You can't throw everybody away, Janique. You can't throw your mama away. You can't throw your siblings away. I know that you would love to act like you do. You might just like be around them and not speak, but that's not helpful in certain situations. Just knowing that that's how that person is, and knowing how you're gonna choose to interact with them is like it's a whole nother vibe. If I know the narcissist fears / phobias, it's over, I'll make sure the narcissist wants to stay away from me. Oh my God. See, that's antagonizing. That's energy that you just, let me speak for me. I'm just not trying to put that energy into it. Not a good thing. Oh, that's what you're saying. Not a good thing. But I feel like it's not a good thing. Yeah, you don't have to throw away the whole person, especially in a heartbeat. Hey, I'll do anything for my sanity and inner peace. No bitch assness in 2020. If that's really making you sane and giving you peace, versus giving you the rush, like, oh, I'm going to one-up them by doing the opposite. I'm going to one-up them by trying to make them feel shitty. Like, that to me is not inner peace. That to me is like, oh, I got my competitive hat on. And that's energy. Peace. Hey, Deliza. Hey, sis. Allow them to come to you because they will see a shift in you and will come to you with respect. Maybe not. Okay? Maybe they might see a shift in you and maybe they won't. And you can't let how you act depend on whether or not someone's gonna be giving you the respect or the praise for being the bigger person. You know, don't let that drive you. You know, if it's like you just doing you and they come along and say like, wow, you know, like I really fucked up. You know, I was like really like not treating you the way that I should have. You know, that's great. That is the goal. That is, whoo, thank you. But if not, so what? Move on. That's it. That's how I feel. Oh, nah, it's about my inner peace and sanity. Oh my God. Maybe we got different inner pieces and sanities. Maybe your inner peace and sanity is that level of like, yeah, I feel like I won because, you know, that person wanted me to do this and now I'm doing this. Maybe that's your inner peace. My inner peace is like, I don't got to deal with you. I don't got to deal with going back and forth with you. I don't got to deal with you feeling like you got to try to come back for what I just did. I just don't got the energy for that. Not everybody sees your growth. Yep, very true. It's okay either way because you have left them alone. Bye, Felicia. Yep. If my inner peace, sanity, and respect are jeopardized, that person is a liability in my life, including relatives. Yes, I agree with you there. I 100% agree with you. If somebody is messing with my peace, you know, they are a liability. And then I categorize them and I put them in the box that they belong in. But it doesn't mean that I'm trying to get them upset. Like that's probably where we kind of differ. She said I agree with that comment and right. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree. Yes, ma'am, girl, y'all hitting home. Yes. Narcissists, something else, man. Something else. I'm trying to see. It says I got a new question. Okay. Anything else on this? Because the next question is about thank you, sis. This live was good. Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for rocking out with me. I feel so good. Because I could have like chosen to not do a live. But I'm like, no. I said I'm going live. I'm going to say X and I'm going to do X. Damn it. So yeah, I'm grateful. The other question that came up. I'm going to leave this one on the screen. But the other question was thoughts on growing food. Yo, we all got to grow food right now. The way that things are going, we can't really depend on, corporations to provide us with all of our needs the way we have been. Like literally, we've been kind of relying on corporations for everything, for light, for heat, for food. You know, so we have to get self-sufficient and community sufficient as well. Yeah, because it's like so we're growing a few things, and then my sister friend up the block is growing a few things, and like when the harvest comes, it's like, all right, girl, I got some onions, let me get some butternut squash, you know, because that's just So far we know that they already stopped. They've been incentivizing to the stopping of production of meat, dairy, and onions. I love onions. When I was young, I did not like onions, but now I really love onions. So I've been trying to grow onions as much as possible in the house. Because But I already don't eat meat or dairy, but what it looks like it's going to is like, so there's an article basically talking about the shutdown and how Tyson, the chicken company, they've already been kind of playing with the idea of adding in, I say this very strongly, quotes, plant-based, but it's really processed crap. So, yeah. So if they're gonna start replacing, just like I know in jails they're already using these plant-based meats that are really, really, really crap. Like, I don't want to call it a plant. Like, we'll just call it vegan-based, meaning that it's not from meat. But yeah, anyway, so the crap that they're gonna be moving towards, and again, they have already done it in jails, is not good for us. It's genetically modified. It's made in a lab, and then the people with money who put money towards creating these alternatives to meat, they have intentions that are not helpful to us. So yeah, we want to grow our food. We want food to be as natural as possible. I make burgers, but my burgers are literally like flour, a grain, some peppers, and onions and zucchini. Like, it's like not a bunch of ingredients, and it's things that I can pronounce. I know where it came from. It's not like it's like some extra chemicals and crap. So yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like we should all be growing food. I feel like grow different things from your neighbor so that y'all can share. And that's what I gotta say about that. It wasn't so much of getting the one up over someone. At the end of the day, I got to hold myself totally responsible and accountable for what happens in my life. Live and learn. Absolutely. I 100% agree. Accountability equals growth. No bitch assness in 2020. Yes. I just joined, but you touching what I'm going through. Oh. I'm having fun watching my plants grow. Yeah, me too. I feel like a mama. Like, I'm not a mom yet, but I feel like I'm really nurturing some plants right now. Lettuce, ginger, spinach, peppers, papaya. Girl, you growing papaya? Where you live? Where do you live? I want some papaya and some ginger too. I have some lettuce seeds. I didn't start them yet. But yeah. Yo, we tried to sprout some seeds, and it was a fail. So we got to try again with some other seeds. Maybe it was the kind of seeds. Maybe they were just old seeds. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to try. I love onions. Me too. I only like sauteed onions. I love those too. The rabbit hole is so deep, for real. I agree. Totally agree 100%. I've been collecting grape seeds lately. I hope to fob-seeded green grapes, my favorite. Yes, I'm O. Okay, guys, it says I only have a minute and change left. But if there's any last minute questions before the live kicks me off, because I'm not coming back after this, I'm gonna get ready for bed because I'm waking up early so that I can get spiritually grounded in the morning and get my beautiful things done. So yeah. Oh, guys, on YouTube, and also Facebook and Instagram, but on YouTube, it'd be great if you guys could like my last video. My YouTube name, I believe, is Botanica Goddess. That's what it should be, I think. But just like my last video and share it with people. It's a EFT tapping guide, which supports people in just like being okay with not being 100% on their daily routine, their self-care routine. Because I know people like have this thing where they want to make sure that they're exercising and journaling and doing all those things, which I have been actively trying to make sure I do myself. So share the video with people and like it and subscribe to my YouTube, because I'm going to be doing other things, more guided meditations and stuff like that. Can you call me if you're up? Okay, I'll call you while I'm getting ready for bed. Keep your dopeness alive, Chan. Much love. Aw, thank you. Dope love. Peace. Thank you. Yes, thank y'all so much for rocking out with me. I'm so grateful to y'all. Y'all don't even understand. I'm so grateful. And DM me, text me. I love y'all. Peace.